Just briefly summarize the research question, research problem, and your hypothesis, your framework. Then go to chapter 4, session 4.
Hello, good morning, Professor,
Morning.
and all of the friends in this room. Morning. So today we would like to present our research, and our topic name is the role of internal communication in mediating the impact of the CSR on work engagement. And the case study that we choose the Bank of Taiwan. And for the presentation, I'm not going to dig deep too much about the introduction and also hypothesis and the question because we already said that in the midterm
Zoom
test
in
before.
a little bigger. Zoom in.
So first of all, I'm just gonna tell you guys why we choose this study. So first of all, we know that the CSR or the corporate social responsibility is very important. But however, in the previous research, they show mixed results on whether CSR is directly it make the employee work harder or feel more engaged. And there are some gap between this research, so we don't fully understand the mechanism or the how that the connect CSR to engagement. And we believe that the internal communication is the missing link or the missing variable to make this complete. And for the framework that we use, the theoretical, the theory, sorry. For the theory that we use, for the theory that we apply in this paper is we have two main theory. The first one is the organizational support theory or OST. So the first one, this one suggests that when the employee feels supported by the organization, they will feel more engaged in work. And for the second one is the social exchange theory or the SET. This one is explained that the employee will pay back the organization's support with the hard work. So overall, our model is test if the CSR leads to the better internal communication, which then create a higher work engagement. So that is the overall of the introduction. So next, let's dive deeper. We will focus on the results. So the first one is the D.1. D.1 or the descriptive statistic. So we have surveyed 100 full-time employees in the Bank of Taiwan. And regarding the age, as you guys can see in the chart here, they are most in their late 20 to the early 30, and to be specific is 29 and also 32. And this means our data is reflects on the view of the younger generation workforce. And for the tenure, we found out that 81.4% of respondents have worked more than 1 year in the Bank of Taiwan. So why this is important? Because it means that these employees have been working long enough with the Bank of Taiwan to understand the internal communication and also CSR in the organizations. And next is the reliability test. So after we know that who is our respondent and what is their age and everything, so next is we have to do the reliability test before we analyze our data. So of course, to do the reliability test, we use the converse alpha, and the score need to be above 0.70 to be considered as reliable. So we have three variables. So start with the first one, which is the CFL variable, and the number is 0.765, which means very reliable. And the second one is the internal communication. This one is 0.751. This is also considered as reliable. And the last one is the work engagement. Yeah, and for the work engagement is 0.643, even though it's below 0.7, but in social science research, if the number is more than 0.6, it's still considered as reliable and acceptable in the research. And next is the validity test and the hypo testing, which will be explained by my friend.
Okay, so for the validity test, we have, for the first one is the CSR variable validity test. From here we have 8 measure items, and as the results show that all CSR items have corrected item, total correlation values greater than 0.3, ranging from 0.372 to 0.596. So this indicates that each item has significant correlation with the total score of the CSR construct and therefore considered valid. And in addition, correct alpha if item deleted value for all items are lower than the overall comma alpha is 0.765. So this suggests that removing any item would not improve the reliability of the CSR variable. And this thus all items contribute positively to the internal consistency of the scale. Based on this finding, it can be concluded that CSR measured items are valid and reliable and therefore appropriate for further statistical analysis. And for the second is the internal communication variable validity test. And from here we have 9 measured items, and the total correlation values above is 0.30, and the ranging from the 9 measurement item is 0.306 to 0.553, indicating that these items are valid and adequately represent the internal communication construct. And as for the Z9 records a corrected item, total corrected value of 0.151, which is below to recommended threshold. This suggests that the item has a weaker correlation with the overall construct. However, for the considering theoretical relevance of the item and the fact that the overall converse alpha 0.751 still exceeds the minimum acceptable level of 0.70, item of the Z9 measurement was retained in the measurement model. And for the third one is the word engaged variable validity test. From here we have 5 measurement items that indicate that the value is above 0.30, ranging from the 0.343 to 0.453. And this suggests that each item has sufficient correlation with the total score and is therefore considered value in measuring the word engagement construct. And D4 is the classical assumption. For the normality test, we use the Kolmogorov and Smirnov and Shapiro-Wilk. From the normality test was we conducted Kolmogorov, Smirnov, and Shapiro-Wilk test on the measurement from X1 to Z and Y variable with a sample size of 100 respondents. The results showed that the significant value for both tests are below 0.05 for all items, indicating that at the item level, the data do not strictly follow a normal distribution. However, in studies with a sample size of 100 or more, normality test statistics are known to be highly sensitive of a detecting minor deviation from normality. Moreover, this study employs parametric statistical techniques which are generally robust to moderate violation of the normality assumption, particularly when sample sets are sufficiently large. And for the second is the multicollinearity test. It's CSR. The first one is CSR and internal communication based on the collinearity statistic presented in the table above. The tolerance value of the independence variable is 1.0 and the variance inflation factor VIF is also 1.0. It's a commonly accepted rule of thumb is that if the VIF value is less than 10 and the tolerance value is greater than 0.10, there is no serious multicollinearity problem since the VIF is well below the threshold 10 and the tolerance is above 0.10. And for the second is the CSR internal communication and work engagement. From here, the collinearity for a model, the results show that both variables have a tolerance value of 0.539 and VIF value of 1.857. So both VIF values are significantly lower than the threshold of 10 and the tolerance values are greater than 0.1. So this indicates there is no problematic multicollinearity between CSR internal collation. Therefore, the regression coefficients are stable and the indicates are distinct enough to predict work engagement reliable. And the third one is the heteroscedasticity test. From here, the scatter plot of the regression student list residual against the regression standardized predict value showed that the points are randomly spread above and below the zero line without forming any clear patterns, such as a U-shaped funnel or wave pattern. This random distribution indicates that the variance of the residual is constant across all levels of the predicted value. And the last one is the Sobel test. So from the Sobel test was conducted to verify the significance of the mediating of internal communication and relationship between CSR and work engagement. So based on the calculation, the Sobel test statistic is approximately 3.19 for two-tailed as a significant level of 0.05. The critical value is 1.96. Since the calculated z value is greater than 1.96, the mediation effect is statistically significant. So this empirical supports the hypothesis 3, confirming that internal communication significantly mediates the relationship between CSR and work engagement. Okay, next.
Okay, next, Next, we do the bootstrapping test. So for the bootstrapping,
for the bootstrapping result, based on the correlation metrics further validate the relationship between the variables. So the first one is between CSR and internal communications. The correlation is statistically significant, and the 95% bootstrap confidence interval bias corrected range from 1.533 to 1.7099. Since the interval doesn't include zero, the positive relationship is robust. And the second is internal communications and work engagement. The correlation is significant with 95% confidence interval ranging from 1.425 to 1.17. The interval doesn't cross zero, confirming a significant positive link. And the third is CSR and work engagement. The correlation is significant with a 95% confidence interval ranging from 1.383 to 0.76. Overall, the bootstrapping test confirms that the association between CSR, internal communication, and work engagements are significant and stable, supporting the validity of the structural model proposed in this study. And for the hypothesis testing, The first one is the CSR and internal communications. So the SPSS rejections analysis indicates a strong positive and statistically significant relationship between corporate social responsibility and internal communication, where R is 0.679, reflects a robust correlation and demonstrate that CSR explain 46.1% of the variance in internal communication. This linkage is theoretically grounded in social exchange theory, as internal CSR practice such as policies promoting employee well-being, skill development, and work-life balance create a perception of organizational care, obligating employees to reciprocate through enhanced trust, psychological safety, and proactive communication behaviors like open feedback and idea sharing, since employees view these initiatives as direct fulfillment of relational psychological contracts that foster personal obligation for positive actions. And second is between internal communication and work engagement. So the SPSS regression analysis demonstrates a moderate, positive, and highly significant relationship between internal communication and work engagement, with evidence by R value is 0.576 moderate correlation, and indicating that Z explains 33.2% of variance in Y. And this connection operates through social exchange theory, where internal communication satisfaction initiates reciprocal obligations by fulfilling employees' informational and relational needs via feedback, climate, and media quality, fostering perceived organizational support and employer attractiveness as job researches that buffer demands and cultivate vigor, dedication, and absorption in engagement. And the last one is CSR and work engagement through internal communications to test the mediating role of internal communications. We already answered the third hypothesis in solo testing. Next into the discussion. And for the research contributions and implications, the theoretical contribution, the first one is unlocking the black box of CSR. The study empirically validates internal communication as a significant mediator. This finding confirms that CSR doesn't influence employees in a vacuum. Rather, effective communication serves as a critical before foundation and translates organizational policies into individual employee engagement. Second is integrating OST and SET frameworks. So this research successfully integrates organizational support theory or OST and social exchange theory to explain employee behavior. The findings demonstrate that CSR initiative function as a signal of organizational support. When these initiatives are communicated transparently, they trigger a sense of obligation in employees to reciprocate with higher dedication and vigor consistent with SET. And the third, contextual validations in the banking sector. Unlike many studies focused on Western context or general private sector, this research validates the CSR is influenced with communications and engagement. Modeled within the Bank of Taiwan, it proves that even in a highly regulated state-owned enterprise, the psychological mechanism linking social responsibility to workforce engagement remain robust and effective. And for the practical implication, for the management and HR departments at the Bank of Taiwan, these findings over actionable strategies, such as communication is a critical action, focus on meaning linkage, and strategic research allocation. Thank you.
Okay. Let's take a look. Okay, the flow is fine. It's good you test the normality assumption before running the regression. It is a good practice. For prime alpha or reliability test, Validity test. We have two types of validity. We have two types of validity. The first one is called conversion validity. So which part you report conversion validity? I didn't
I
see that.
I reminded this.
Okay, item to total is usually is for reliability test. Reliability test. For the validity, we have two types: convergent and discriminant validity. So I didn't see it. And you did run regression analysis. Did you apply hierarchical regression analysis or not? Hierarchical.
Hierarchical is the
We have
Like-
just in your mediator, so we at least I think we have two block. Two block. So I'm not sure you run the hierarchical now.
Oh yeah. I think I just answered the third hypothesis with solving test.
Yeah, so that is for for the indirect effect.
Okay.
So before the sample test, we need to perform hierarchical regression based on Bell-Canny approach. Did you mention Bell-Canny approach?
I
No.
think no.
Three-step, right?
Yeah.
Three-step Bell-Canny approach. And after the approach, then we report the sample test result.
Actually, in the I like revised this document like for many times,
Yeah,
and
okay.
actually at the first document I put this analysis, so it's to test the mediating using the regression. But I am asking in AI and Sobel test like already answer the mediating, so I don't know.
Okay,
So I
got
check
it.
it out here.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good.
so I have to put it right from.
Yeah,
That's
yes,
the hierarchical.
yes,
Okay.
yes, hierarchical regression based on Bell-Canny
Yeah.
approach.
Mhm.
And we test Sobel, publication and fact. And for bootstrapping is another approach to test mediation effect. By reporting confidence interval. We have shown in previous class, right? So here, it's just a correlation analysis,
Yeah, it's
not a
This
mediation
mediation,
effect
yeah.
test. So you don't have to hide the bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is alternative way to sample test. If you do bootstrapping, you don't have to do the sample test. If you do the sample test, you don't have to do the bootstrapping.
Bootstrapping.
Yeah, it's a different approach.
Okay.
You copy many output from SPSS. That's fine. That's fine for practice. But for submitting to an international conference, you maybe have to organize
Yeah.
the
Put
report
it
in different format.
Yeah.
Follow APA format.
Yeah.
APA format. So you maybe need to just modify.
Okay.
Create tables combine the result. For example, for reliability, you report reliability one by one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But
So
usually,
I just like somewhere in one table.
yeah. Just like Freddy, they
Yeah.
would do the same thing. Yeah. Of course, they already have mentioned you have reliability issue
Yeah.
related to work engagement, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why. The reliability is close to 0.7, but it's still below. Yeah, I don't know what caused that happen. These are mediation effect. Demographic insight. Demographic information or insight information, usually we will put it maybe in section 3, meta section, or the beginning of section 4.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we mentioned it.
Yeah, for about demographic. You don't have to put it so, close to the hypothesis testing.
Okay.
Okay. No, nothing more. Okay. Contribution. Okay. Good. The highlight of theoretical contribution is good. But only one citation here, right? Only one citation for theoretical contribution. Validation, CSR. SAT framework. Okay. Texture validation. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's also good for practical implication for manager who make decision on implementing CSR in the organization. Okay. Did you report any limitation of your research?
I forgot to put it in the.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will revise it.
Okay, it's good practice.
Okay, thank you.
Your group? Fine? Good. Please.
Yes.
No?
Oh, yeah.
Good fine?
How about this?
I didn't see the screen sharing. What? What happened? Let's see. Okay. Fine? Yes. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So we are from group 5 and we would like to present our final paper with the title Examining the Impact of Green Marketing Mix Strategies on Generation Z through the purchasing behavior through green purchase intention in Taiwan consumers. So our group consists of Cosette, me, Jones, and Putri Alisa. I will start from the background. As we know that in these recent years, environmental sustainability has become a major concern in global consumer markets, and it leads the companies to create a green product, to adopt the green product by green marketing mix such as green products, green price, green place, and green promotion. And we will use the Generation Z. Can you scroll down? Generation Z as our object because Generation Z is often characterized by strong environmental values and the positive attitude towards sustainability. And we also use the value attitude behavior framework, which shape the behavior of the green purchase behavior. And in this study, green marketing mix strategies can act as the external factors that help convert the pro-environmental values and attitude into real purchasing behavior. And Taiwan provides a relevant research context as the Generation G consumers shows a high environmental awareness, but still face some issues such as greenwashing skepticism and trust concern. Therefore, our studies examines how green marketing mix strategies influence green purchasing behavior among Gen Z in Taiwan based on the value attitude behavior framework. we focus on the mediating role of green purchase intention between the green marketing mix with a green product and green purchase, green product, green price, green place, and green promotion, and the green purchase behavior. So that's okay. So moving on to the research methodology. So this study used a quantitative research approach to examine the effects of green marketing mix elements on the green perceived value and purchase intention among Taiwanese consumers of green products. And respondents' criteria were aged from 18 and above and had prior experience purchasing or using green products before. And this study applied non-probability purposive sampling as participants were intentionally selected based on this inclusion criteria. And here the measurement of the variable in this study, and the total we have 22 indicators. And moving on to the result and discussion, here the demographic profile. This study consists of 220 respondents who were sorted based on their experience in purchasing and using environmentally green products. And here the distribution table, and for the gender it's a distribute balance, relative balance, because the female is 112 and the male is 108, and for the age is the majority of the respondents is from 21 to 23, and followed by the 24 and 26 age group, and it's really represent the characteristic of the Gen Z itself. And moving on to the outer model. So the outer model here, evaluation assess the measurement model, which determines the relationship between the variable and the latent contracts. And here to ensure that the observed indicators and the respective constructs. And here the outer loading. The outer loading represents the correlation between indicators and the respective contract, and the threshold is 0.7. And here, as the table shows, all the indicators are valid and is above 0.7 and indicate that the items are valid and robust in measuring their respective construct. And moving on to the average variance extracted. And here the threshold is 0.5, and all of the construct is higher than 0.5, indicating that the construct effectively captured the majority of the variance in the indicators. And here for the Cronbach alpha and composite variability, and both of them are used to assess the internal consistency and reliability of the constructs. And the value above 0.7 for both metrics indicate acceptance reliability. And as the table shows, is all of them are above the thresholds. And moving on to the discriminant validity, we use the SDM and the threshold is below. We must below the threshold is 0.85. And as shown in table 6, all HDMT value range is below the 0.85. Indicate that the conceptually related, the construct mainly empirically distinct. Overall, the results confirm independent discriminant validity for a construct in the measurement model. So the outer model is the reliable, valid, and suitable for further measurement. Okay, next for the hypothesis testing. With the bootstrapping, first we analyze the R square. As you can see, the R square, can you scroll up? R square is pretty low, but it makes sense because our topic, because The results are acceptable in consumer behavior research, where purchasing decisions are influenced by some factors, some external factors and physiological factors. For the hypothesis testing, we have one hypothesis rejected. It's the hypothesis 3, which is green purchase intention doesn't mediate the green place to the green purchase behavior. So we have 3 hypotheses accepted and 1 hypothesis rejected. And also we do the Sobel test to ensure that the mediator variable is mediating our hypothesis, and the result is same. It shows that green purchase intention doesn't mediate the green place to the green purchase behavior. And in our research, we found that green purchase intention as the partial mediation because the direct effect of the green place to the green purchase behavior is also significant. However, not all relationships were supported because the green purchase intention doesn't mediate. It suggests that while the availability and accessibility of green products influence the individual perception of green offerings, and this factor alone did not translate into a stronger willingness to act among Gen Z respondents in Taiwan. And also we have the supporting journal that support this rejected hypothesis.
So for the conclusion, that the empirical finding revealed that the green purchase intention plays a significant mediator role in relationship between green product, green price, and green promotion with green purchase behavior. This indicates that the environmentally friendly product attribute like perceived price fairness and effective green promotional active enhance consumer intention to purchase green product. However, the green purchase intention does not mediate the relationship between green place and between purchase behavior, and it suggests that the Generation Z consumer in Taiwan, like product availability and distribution related consideration alone, is not insufficient to stimulate green purchase behavior to intention, and the findings contribute to green marketing and sustainable consumption. For the recommendation is based on this finding, we have recommendation to apply to promote green consumption among Gen Z consumers. It's that the company should prioritize the development and communication of strong green product attributes. Second, green pricing strategy should focus on value certification rather than price reduction. And the third is business should invest in credible, informative, and emotionally engaging communication. And although the green place did not show any effect in the purchase intention and purchase behavior, but distribution strategy should be complemented by strong product value proposition and promotional effort to effectively stimulate sustainable purchasing behavior. For the limitation, we have 3 limitations. First, the study relies on survey-responsive survey data, and this one may lead to the method bias and social desirability bias. The second, we have cross-sectional research besides tracing. The ability to draw causal inference between green marketing mix element, green purchase intention, and green purchase behavior. And finally, the R-square value for green purchase intention and green purchase behavior that just show that partial part of the variable is blank. So because of the others, factors like psychology, social, or context will accept this factor, the variable. For the future research, could extend the research framework by examining different generational, like another generation and in another country, and it will also encourage to capture change in green purchase intention and behavior over time to better establish cultural relationship within the VAB framework. And This one can use the other methods like qualitative to include interview or focus group, and could complement qualitative finding by providing deeper insight into consumer motivation, perception, and barrier related to green purchase behavior. That's all about research.
Okay, good. Your form? Okay. Okay, I like the topic because it relates to green marketing. You apply smart PRS?
Yes.
Okay. Mediate, okay. Green purchase intention mediate relationship between green place and green purchase intention, green place and green purchase behavior. Okay, good. This way. Methodology. You know, this sentence mentioned the data, the source you collect from different platforms, Line, Facebook, Instagram. Okay. The the 5-point Likert scale usually only apply to the measures, not include demographic information. For example, you say we have a structured online questionnaire contain construct or measure and the demographic information, but 5-point Likert only for measures, not include demographic. Okay. Okay, that's good. You follow the rule to calculate sample size. 5 to 10 times indicated you have 22, so you will collect 110 to 220. Smart PRS 4. Good measurement variable, that's good. Results. Okay, we will separate the result from discussion. You know, the section 4 is called result section, and section 5, discussion and conclusion section. So we'll separate result from discussion. The result only report the result and interpret the meaning of the result. That's it, not discuss. We have to put a discussion at the end of chapter or at the end of the section. Okay, the demographic profile, that's good. I like your format. Table 2. Regarding the subtitle of outer or even inner model, there's specific terminology that used in smart PRS. You know. Some people call outer model and inner model. But for SEM, we didn't call it that way. We describe the outer model called measurement model. Measurement model is overall for structural equation modeling. So measurement model, smart PRS just call it model. So I will suggest to revise the subtitle. Maybe just call measurement model. Measurement model, it's good. Just like you said here, right? Measurement model, you say here. Confirmatory, yes, is CFA. And AVE. Okay. CFA is a model, is a techniques to analyze the measurement model. That's a good way. Auto loading in traditional CFA we call factor loading. Auto loading maybe just a way to describe in smart pairs. As you can see, we introduced not only smart pairs, we introduced JAS, SPSS, PSPV. Okay, so 4 software. Only in smart pairs they call it auto model and inner model. Auto loading. Yeah. Okay. But you say because in this part you try to report the major model, right? The major model, the way to show the graph is different. Let's use the whiteboard. Major model, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We have 6 constructs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have indicators, something like this one. Indicator, 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 and so on and so forth. For the outer model or measure model, we describe this kind of chart. Okay. Yeah, so it's different from this one. This one is called structural model. Or in smart theory, they call it inner model. Right? Structural model is for your hypothesis testing. So this chart usually have to move to the hypothesis testing section. It's different. You're welcome. Okay, good. Major model, loading, factor loading. We expect to see the factor loading above 0.7. You don't have to describe value or not. You know, the reader will judge by themselves by looking at your factor loading. Factor loading and ABE. Right. Above 0.5. So combine factor loading and ABE, we have conclusion for conversion validity. Say it again. We combine the factor loading result and ABE, then we have the conclusion about conversion validity. You know, no, just describe it. Describe by maybe a small paragraph. And then right here, right? Just show that. We will move the reliability before before factor loading, okay. Or in between, after factor loading, but before the ABE. So it's a priority. That's fine. That's good. So we have composite reliability. You don't have to report 2 types, only report 1 type. This is enough. I think it's rho. Okay, I think this one. And quantum alpha. Okay. The format that is good. Capacity testing. You mentioned you report solo test, right?
Yes.
But in smart pairs, for the bootstrapping, we report confidence interval. You don't have to report solo test again. in terms of promote confidence input by using bootstrapping. That's it. Okay, that's your report. Thank you. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break.